Podcast. Hey guys, welcome to the Trinity Force Podcast. You're listening to episode number 125. My name is Adam Ponophobia Cogswell, and I'm your host just like every other week. Is it weird that I'm staring at you guys in like the camera and it's like I'm staring
No,
at you?
I was looking at Sean and he had like the dumbest expression on his face.
I'm just a happy guy, man. Come on.
Sean always has a dumb expression.
No,
on his
it wasn't a smile or grinning. You were just like...
So as you guys can hear, the full group, Dom, Chira, and DeClaude, are all here.
Howdy.
Yo.
And we are live again. We are going to try to do live every Monday and Wednesday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And that will change with Daylight Savings Time. So if I start saying Standard Time when it's actually Daylight Savings Time, you guys can slap me then. We have decided to go live because we're going to start posting to YouTube. You can find us over at youtube.com/T-Force Podcast. So if you want to watch us or you'd rather listen to the YouTube rather than listening to the MP3, you can check that out. We're just trying to get the media out there in many places as we can. Speaking of that, don't forget to go rate us on iTunes. We did get another rate. We're at 180. I'd like to see 200 by the end of January, so please go on iTunes, the American store. You guys can do it anywhere if you're listening outside of America, but the only one that I see is the American store. Stitcher as well. Please continue to rate us there. And don't forget there are t-shirts available, tforcepodcast.spreadshirt.com. You can go buy a t-shirt. You have DeClaude's special podcast to your horse. And you have the Trinity Force
Look at that
logo.
big old grin.
I know, every
so
time.
I love it.
He's
I'm
so
so
happy.
happy.
Look at him.
And you know what? The artwork for it is perfect. I couldn't ask for better
That's very
artwork.
good.
I love it.
That's really good.
It is. So yeah, guys, don't forget to go check out the t-shirts. I do have to give a special shout out to Squeaker Pants because he gave us the question last week about manaless champions in the bottom lane, or last podcast, episode 124.
No, he didn't give us that question. He brought up Zach specifically, and I wouldn't have even thought of Zach had he not written that question.
Well, there you go. Thanks, Squeaker Pants. So you guys, when you guys do write in, we do try to answer those. I get a lot of you guys that write back and say, thanks for answering this question. Now here's the follow-up. And I'm sorry if we can't get to that question the podcast after we do it, but we'll try to get to it or respond to you individually. There's a lot of questions that come in that we do respond with just individual emails, because we'll get some that are like, hey, what key bindings do you specifically use? I know we talked about that last week, but I'll reply with that. So just give you an example of some of the type of emails we replied to. Other than that, let's go ahead.
Sean, do you need charity donations to turn the heat back on in your house? You're wearing your hat.
It's cold, but I actually have the heat on. It's just there's literally this apartment's really janky, and there is a window inside the bathroom that doesn't close. And there's a hole underneath the door in the kitchen, which is right that way.
You can't
So
see.
your house-
You can't see my kitchen anymore.
So pluck it bald and call your house drafty? Is that
Yeah.
what we're saying?
Yep.
DeClaude just been waiting for how long to get that
I
joke
was
in.
waiting. Yeah.
He knew it as soon as he started. That's where he was going with it.
I saw the hat and the gears started turning.
So speaking of puns, DeClaude, I have to unfollow you on Twitter. It's you and Red Hurt just too much.
You don't... Damn it. You're watching our conversations. He doesn't stop. Ranhurt, he's relentless.
Yeah, I've
And
almost
I can't-
unfollowed both of you a couple times.
And all right,
I can't
That's
believe you
too
guys
scary.
just keep going. That's the scariest part.
I know there's something I just can't let him get the last pun in. So
Apparently,
I'm gonna have to take it to direct messages next time. That way I'm not bugging everybody else.
Well, you're only bugging the people who follow both of you. So that's the only reason we see it. And I'm following Twitter all day. Actually, did he tell you what he named his kids' party?
No.
His birthday parties. He has a 1 and a 4-year-old, so it's like, oh shit, Wonderland is one of it's wonderful or Fordiful in Wonderland. He did a pun with wonderful in the word for, and then one for Wonderland.
That's awesome.
That's terrifying.
I'd have to go
love
find it. Yeah. Anyway, let's get into league discussion. We've had enough news here for a moment. We did see today that Lemon Dogs are officially out of the LCS, and now we have the other three challengers vying for that spot, which is Meet Your Makers, Ninja in Pajamas, and Super Hot Crew.
Super Hot Crew.
That's right. I know, Sean, you had some thoughts about this.
I'm actually really okay with this because this kind of sets like a sport integrity tone. Whereas you can't, because there'd been talk about like Ninjas in Pajamas buying Lemon Dog's spot. And now that Riot's kind of done something where you can't just purchase another team's spot just because
So I agree, and I like the issue now. The problem is that, like, EG is in NALCS under basically the same rules.
Right.
They just bought the right to the promotion challenge rather than the actual LCS spot. So it's good that they have precedent now going forward, but we've already seen teams kind of.
And I again, it strengthens the integrity of the organization that's kind of doing the behind the scenes rules and stuff, and compare that to actual sporting events like boxing that's had issues with cheating and all that stuff. It's just nice to see
Riot
a group trying to take they're being proactive and not dealing with shady shit that can go on in the background, which happens in other sports all the time.
Right. I'm happy to see Riot taking a look at their rules and changing, proactively changing them based on the situations that are arising. When you find teams trying to find loopholes in the rules to get into the LCS or get that spot or whatever it may be, Riot's out there taking care of it. So, kudos to Riot for trying to legitimize esports. So, to Claude, are you planning on going on a mass killing spree over there? I hear a gun.
Oh. No. I just had to make sure it was put away.
Itchy trigger finger, I see. He's just getting ready to fire off.
He's missing that finger. How
you guys
dare
better
you?
not piss me off.
Oh, maybe I should let you read off the listener questions since you're itching so badly to get into league discussion.
Sure. Are we starting with Smoily Face?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Smiley face.
But before we get those, for the guys that are listening, we're going listener questions because there hasn't been much PBE discussion lately, and there hasn't been a new patch to the game. So we're going to keep running listener questions until that comes out. With that said, DeClaude, go for it.
Cool. Works well. All right, well, let's see. First one here, the mailbag. Smoily Face writes, who do you think the God tier supports are? Which ones you like? And I would like to turn this over to Dom.
The God tier supports right now are easily Annie and Leona. You can justify banning either of them. I think they're better bans to be used, but I wouldn't raise an eyebrow or anything if somebody banned one of those two. And you're gonna see both of them all kinds of frequently. That said, the supports I like right now are for sure Karma and Nami. I think those two are getting really underplayed, at least in North America. I know Karma's really popular in Korea, but just like they have so much that they can do, so much utility and just a lot of versatility that they bring to their team. And I think that people are just sort of ignoring them because of the tank meta, really.
I think you can't discount Thresh out of this because of the lantern. As long as he has a lantern, for the most part, he's going to be allowed to make plays. I say he's a God tier top 3 support in the competitive scene. You can't dispute that. He's always going to be good there. Mm-hmm.
I like just overall. I don't think he in solo queue. I don't think he's quite God tier. If you want, I was only gonna name 2.
Sure.
I think he's number 3 on the list, and he's good in pretty much any situation. But it's not oh my God. You don't feel the impact Thresh makes the same way you feel Leona or Annie in the early game now, because they've toned him down.
Right.
And Leona benefited so much from the preseason 4 changes that that's what skyrocketed her up.
Well, you did mention Nami, and if you guys watch SKT1 versus KT Bullets today, spoiler alert, Nami saw quite a bit of play. Even when Annie was available, Nami was being picked. So Poo Mandu had picked her up.
Would you consider Nami God tier?
No,
she's tier 1.5.
It really depends on who you talk to. I've seen her ranking all over the place based on what the pro supports think. Spellsy was really high on her. I think Xpecial was really low. Edward was lukewarm on her. So it really, I think it's kind of.
Play
I kind of think supports are starting to reach a point now, especially with the income changes, where it's going to be a lot more play style based, and so you might see people Edward is known for Thresh and everything, but everybody was playing Thresh last season. It wasn't like Edward was the only regular or recurring Thresh player. But I think we might be entering an era where there will be a lot of specialization as far as supports go. At least maybe I'm just being foolishly optimistic about that.
I think Annie's always going to be one of the top threats.
Well, if
I didn't see any plans to mess with her too much.
In 3.15, they are changing her stun to be scaling based on level. So it'll start at 1.25, then go to 1.5, then go to 1.75, like it is on live.
Okay, so not much change last time we talked about.
No, that's still the change that is out there and has not been reverted. Unlike Cassidy, for example, remember we talked about Cassidy 10 or so episodes ago, and they have continually added or removed and changed and everything.
He just got changed back to what he is on live.
Yeah.
So they can't figure out what to do with him. But no, yeah, Annie, she's gonna fall out of favor very quickly when that stun change hits, because a lot of her power is obviously her early game, and especially when she hits 6, she hits that giant power spike when she hits 6, and she won't have that stun and that 1.5 stun until 6 or 7 now. I think 7. It's 7 and 11, I think, or yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds right. It's so weird though that it would be 7 and 11 after such a large drought.
Right, and that's why I kind of stuttered when I said I can't remember the exact level, so they're going to change it. But 1.25 seconds doesn't give you like that extra half a second that you would have gotten before. Gives your 80 carry time to get in there and do the damage. So that half a second that she's losing in the early may not make her as good of a solo queue pick as she was before.
That means you can like get barrier off or possibly flash out of trouble.
Yeah.
Instead of just sitting there and dying and regretting not taking cleanse.
So yeah, we'll have to see how those changes truly affect them all. When it comes, I like where supports are at right now. I know I've heard some people bitching about them and feeling like they are too static. But like what Dom said, I think it allows people to specialize in certain champions and make them work in team comps. And ultimately, isn't that what we want out of every lane? Is for a majority of the champions to be viable. Like top lane right now, you have those top 2 or 3 picks. And then you have your niche picks after that, but they don't hold up as well as some of those supports may. Like Nami can obviously stop Leona in lane, and you don't have to be afraid to play her into it.
Support's kind of weird because there aren't really a lot of champions who you get genuinely upset or you think you're getting trolled if somebody picks that person, unless they pick somebody really weird. Like Nautilus support or something, just for sake of example. Everybody feels like they're getting trolled if it's Nidalee support, and that's, a good argument. But, Lulu, people have a lot of differing opinions on her, but people aren't usually too upset if Lulu shows up on their team one way or the other, if she's supporting. Janna, she's kind of weak right now, but most people don't, pitch a fit if Janna shows up on a team. Supports are kind of weird in that regard. Whereas you, Adam, you roll your eyes whenever, Fiora shows up on your team or something.
I used to be a champion of Fiora. I wanted to play her all the time, but I kind of agree with whatever his name is. The guy talks about Fiora Master X18. If she just shows up, I'm like, really? Why are you even playing this champion? But the few that play her have probably mastered her at this point. So being as high as I am in solo queue, I can't really complain. What were you going to say, Sean?
I the past 3 games that I've played against a Fiora, she's carried the game by herself.
Oh, she does that. It takes her a while to get there.
If you're going to play her a lot, you'll learn some tricks.
Right. Yeah, we'll have to see how the changes shake up here, especially with the Sejuani changes coming in the top lane and the PBE. That's next. As soon as that patch hits, that's what I really want. The big discussion I want to have for us next is how top lane is going to change now that Sejuani is eating a nerf. But I'm going to wait to see what the final changes are for everybody, because I still have a feeling a Mundo nerf is going to come in somewhere.
As it should.
Right.
Do you think they're going to do that, or are they going to mess with the masteries that made Mundo?
That was what I said.
It's hard to say. I don't know if it's all masteries the reason that Mundo was good, because Mundo was pretty decent.
Second Wind and Perseverance mainly.
Yeah, those are the 2 big ones. Second Wind is the big one.
Without
that's
it,
really making him healthy. But no, in season 3 though, he wasn't awful in the top lane. You couldn't push him out.
No, he wasn't, but he's not nearly as terrifying as he is now with those. I think the masteries are pretty much what pushed him.
He's not unkillable at 1/3 HP with his ult up.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
he wasn't back then, yeah.
Yeah, you're looking at that. that with second win, Mundo being unkillable is more late game or mid game than it is early, because he can still be bullied out and then stopped. You just if you leave Mundo up, like a trick to playing against Mundo is one, you don't have to camp top lane with him, but camping top lane helps getting your top laner a kill or two. But using the advantage that you have for maybe you have like a 5-minute window after 6 to do something before Mundo hits his critical mass point or starts to hit critical mass where you can't kill him. So you have
everyone
to keep
buy
in mind.
Executioner's Callings and Morellonomicons.
Yes.
Executioner's Calling, not bad against him at all.
Well, if you have a team... See, this is why I like Kha'Zix now, and a lot of teams pick up Kha'Zix, because as long as you can obliterate the back line, Mundo is not an issue anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why Kha'Zix has been seeing a lot of play. And also why Ziggs has been seeing a lot of play, because he can poke people down like Nidalee, and then a Kha'Zix can go in and clean up the fight or whatever it may be. And we might see somebody like with, like I've said before, Yasuo and Ziggs could make a very good combination. And I know DeClaude's all over Ziggs right now.
Ziggs train, yeah. Hell, he was playing Ziggs before then.
That game last night just got me all hyped on Ziggs. It was just awesome.
I almost interjected in
I recorded it.
I almost interjected in your conversation with Mr. I Tryhard today. DeClaude was talking to him about Ziggs, but I was like, I'm just gonna let it go because DeClaude can take care of this, because the guy was getting down on Ziggs and saying he couldn't blow people up, and I was like, nope, just gonna stand back and read the conversation because you're silly.
I think what he was trying to get at was just that he preferred like someone like Annie over Ziggs for that kind of role. And in a comment I tweeted today about how I liked Ziggs' versatility. How I didn't feel like there was anything that could hard counter him, and he was just a good safe pick. And then he just went on talking about who he preferred over Ziggs. So yeah, it was a good conversation actually. Got some good
at least you got to
good discussion. Yep.
Right.
But man, Ziggs is so fun. I love Ziggs. I got to gloat a little bit about that game last night. I had one where I went bot lane. There was a Vi and a Gragas. Their mid and their jungler went and ganked bot lane for a 4-man gank. They managed to clean up 2 of them, and there were those 2 left, a little less than half life, and I went barreling down there thinking, okay, I'm going to take him out real quick. I had my Lich Bane. And then they both jumped me with their little gap closers, and lo and behold, Vi hadn't used her ult yet.
No.
So I'm thinking, oh, crap, I'm dead. So I just used all of my abilities on top of myself. And then they both popped, and I was still alive. I was like, when all the smoke cleared, I was like, holy shit. It was beautiful. And then I stole Baron, got a triple kill when we were 4v5, and we ended up pushing the game. It was. I was 17-4-4, so I definitely had some broad Yordle shoulders there. And made me love Ziggs even more. He's just so fun.
He's the second winningest champion right now.
I can see why.
Only a Mumu has a better win rate than he does, and Ziggs is getting picked and banned. I mean, he's 12% pick rate and like a 13, almost 14% ban rate. So I mean, he's seeing a lot of play. So a 55% win rate is with a lot of data to work with there.
You know what? I really want to see Riot. I don't want to see Riot nerf Ziggs numbers, because I'm not too mad. I'm not too mad about the damage he does. The only thing that bothers me about Ziggs right now is how long landmines stay on the field after
they last forever.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I abuse that sometimes. Like I'll be like, okay, we're gonna do this objective. Let me close off this lane for the entire time we kill it.
They last a good like 10 seconds.
It's like 8 to 10 seconds. Yeah.
And that's just
I'd be willing to trade it off.
Corridor.
Make it a smaller window. Maybe I don't know. Make it do a little bit better of a slow.
He's kind of reminding me of Lux from last season, just the way he's getting played and the frequency with which he's getting played. And I think a big really part of it is, I mean, like his ult has a much longer cooldown compared to hers, but the rest of his abilities, I'm just glancing, they're on pretty short cooldowns.
Yeah,
bouncing bomb is for sure.
Yeah,
and short fuse, I think, gets really ignored by a lot of people, but that's a lot of damage.
Really good.
Yep. Most of my kills with Ziggs are I hit the auto attack and they flash away while it's flying in the air, and then pop, they're dead because the Lich Bane and the short fuse hit, and I hit them for 700 damage.
It's some nasty damage.
It's pretty awesome. And the fact that you can recharge short fuse just by using your abilities, you just got to be cognizant of it. Okay, hit them when it's up, and then use your abilities. Then hit them again. As long as you get the timing down, it's insane DPS.
So you mentioned, Dom, you just mentioned Lux. And I have to point out that somebody did tweet at us that Lux does have a linear alt. It's not global, but she is a mage with a linear alt. So we had discussed that on 124, asking about what mages were. So I thought that was an interesting point, that there is there's a mage that we completely forgot about that it is not global, but there is a long range linear alt.
Close enough.
Well, I hadn't forgotten, but I was focused on the global thing.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, she definitely falls in if we're talking about strictly the linear part, but it's not global.
Right. I just forgot that right now I had to mention that to you, and I know it's doesn't pertain to what we're talking about, but
that's a good comparison, though. She's very similar to Ziggs with her kit. She's got the slow, she's got a fairly low cooldowns. It's just, and then if she does her everything at once, she can blow somebody up or a group of people up. She has some AoE, and I remember when she was the OP, but early last season, that was the one to pick. You pick or ban, kind of. Not as much as the popular pick and bans, but about as much as Ziggs is getting pick or ban right now. So
it'll be interesting to see what happens when the Xerath rework lands, which supposedly that should be hitting soon, because he, at least conceptually, he fits right into that group of champions and could really shake up the dynamic. A friend of mine, when Xerath was kind of seeing a bit more play, a friend of mine always liked to run Lux against him, just because now you have, you get a lot more wiggle room, and you got two champs who are just as capable at sieging. So,
yeah, we'll see what goes on here, because I'm really looking forward to the Xerath rework. I think those changes will make him more viable than he is now, because having to root yourself can really screw up a team fight. It's another one of those champions where you're super positioning dependent, and you shouldn't have to be that positioning dependent as a mage, as if like an AD carry, in my opinion.
Did they change the animation for his new ult on the PBE?
Not yet.
They haven't released it, but they were talking about it. They've cleaned up a lot of his animations and I guess got some cool new particles.
Good, because it just looked like he was
nice. That was cracking me up.
Squirting. Anyway, let's move on to the next question here before we get too deep. So before I talk about this question, I do have to say that a long time ago, any new listeners, we championed Sejuani as the pick this was back when a Mumu was super powerful. This was beginning of season 3, end of season 2.
Wait, so right now?
Yeah, right now. And so we were talking about Sejuani a lot, so it's been on a lot of our listeners' radars, and now we have a question about Sejuani in Season 4. And Shiri writes in, what skill and item builds would you suggest on a beginner Sejuani in the jungle, factoring in the preseason changes? Do you think Sejuani is a good champion to learn the jungle on, and if not, who should I learn jungling instead?
I think Sejuani's great.
Nope.
No, go for it. Go for it.
I still play Sejuani in the jungle. And I've been playing a bunch of different other jungle champions as well, but I think her if you played her before, then you notice her clear is slower, but if you're just starting to play her clear is actually not that bad. It's AoE clear with your W, Northern Winds, and once you get your E, you don't use your Q if you can help it, because if you don't have blue buff, that takes up most of your mana. But she's tanky, she can clear rather quickly. You build her tanky because all you are a slow
You're
bot.
a wall.
Right, you're a wall slow bot. You slow whoever you're sticking to, and you want to survive while you're doing that and just do a little bit of AoE damage while you're there. And then wait for the right moment to use your ult or initiate with it. So build tanky. I like to build Spirit of the Ancient Golem. I like to get, and there's usually mixed AD and AP. So I like to get the Randuin's Omen for my anti-AD. And then I like Banshee Veil, believe it or not, over Spirit Visage for the
I can
magic
understand
resist.
that. She doesn't heal, so you're kind of wasting a passive.
Right.
Yeah, but she gets a lot out of CDR.
She gets a ton out of CDR.
Well, there's another reason. I already maxed the CDR with Spirit of the Ancient Golem, Randuin's Omen, and 9 times out of 10 I will get Frozen Heart because someone else on my team does not get Frozen Heart.
Because you're not playing with
really
me.
good on her.
With the bruisers, the top lane junglers now, it's just too awesome. And the hyper carry marksman. So,
right.
And then boom, I'm already maxing my CDR. So, but yeah, I can see where if I didn't get Frozen Heart and they had a little bit more AP, let's say they had that AP top or AP jungler, then yeah, I might grab the Spirit Visage instead.
It's one of those things. If after you've built Spirit the Ancient Golem, even before that, if you get a couple early kills, it's not a bad idea to pick up that Kindle gem on her because it's raw life and it's cooldown reduction.
I mean, that amount of cooldown reduction will make or break ganks right around the 6-minute mark anyway.
And now skill builds. Sure, you asked about the skill builds as well. I would say you start with your Northern Winds for the jungle. And then you go to, I would get my Q next instead of the E and clear my camps faster. I'll jump over the Golem Wall, for example, from Red Lizard on the purple side, or even on the blue side, jump over the Golem Wall with my Q, and then hit the W while I hit the first unit. And then I prioritize E, so I go R, E, W, Q. I like to get 2 points in Northern Winds, which is the W. That's the AoE. And then from then on, I'm maxing my nuke, so to speak. I go Twitch style. It's my expunge, So I like to max that just to get those kills when they flash away, hit the E real quick, and hope I do as much damage as possible.
I was going to point out that I think you should do 2 points early into W because it hits that cooldown reduction while it allows it to be back up in between ganks. And you have to keep in mind when using W that it is an auto attack reset, which is different from her prior build. And so if you are going against like a 1v1 minion, you can auto for an extra 100 damage, because if you don't, you miss out on extra damage. So you need to keep that in mind when you're ganking as well.
Good point. And it'll damage a turret too. Just the initial reset hit, but not the AoE afterwards. But so you can use it to help burst down a turret a little bit faster.
So yeah, Sherry, you can definitely learn Sejuani, and she can carry solo queue games. That ultimate is like it's a double whammy. So even if you miss, you get the slow. Try not to miss because the stun
and
is
the actual ult is so good.
You like having that one hit.
You get the slow, and if you click on the enemy who has it, you can see the timer for the slow, and then time it so that you use that slow, and then hit your E to restart permafrost slow. That way you have them slowed as long as possible if you need that to catch up.
Yeah, she's a little more forgiving than a Mumu is because you don't have to hit bandage toss to get in.
And her damage isn't as high as a result.
Right.
Yeah, her gap closer can also be used as an escape too, which is really nice.
And an interrupt. So let's say you're fighting a Master Yi, he comes to counter jungle you, and you manage to get the better of him for whatever reason because the Master Yi's horrible. But and then he starts to do his little masturbate heal thing. Just go ahead and Q him real quick. You'll interrupt it.
Listen, this isn't rework Zareth, DeClaude. Nobody's.
You ever see Master Yi doing his little heal?
I don't think he moved. I'm pretty sure he just puts a sword out in front of him and holds it, but I don't know what you're seeing.
Well, he does start moaning the moment he does it.
Oh, okay.
So.
He turns bright red, vein pops out.
Sherry, I'm not sure what. I'm assuming you're level 30. I'm at what ranking you are, where you're playing, or how you're going to be playing this. But I think that. I know this is going to be off the path. Some of you guys might disagree, but I think Kha'Zix is a good jungler right now to be learning to play assassins very well, because Kha'Zix can be played either in jungle, mid, or top, and it allows you to, assuming you have somebody else in the team that knows how to engage a team fight, it'll teach you how to get in and when to engage, like that's when to follow up on a team fight properly, because Kha'Zix can really carry a game at this point.
He carries the shit out of games.
Yeah,
if he's doing well.
Yeah, putting him in the jungle allows him to get the farm he needs, and you just build Spirit the Elder Lizard, first item, boots, and then you go straight into just tons of damage. Last Whisper, Hydra, Brutalizer, and you don't even have to get boots of mobility on him. I know it's not a jungle that most people would tell you to pick up for somebody new. Probably Vi is a lot safer and easier to play, but
be a man. Be a woman, whatever you are.
Well, actually,
Step up.
I like how you're bringing up messing with different roles out of the jungle and different jungle styles. After playing them and trying them in the jungle, seeing how quick they clear, try Warwick. Single target, slow clear, and just feel the difference. Feel the difference there.
I could never fucking play. I'm a shitty jungler as it is, but I cannot wrap my head around how you play that champion. And I know
you get so impatient.
Everybody's always like, if you can't,
you're like,
if you're failing with Warwick, you're just overthinking it, and that's what everybody tells me. And I'm like, yeah, I just can't wrap my head around that damn champion.
You're getting impatient. You're playing in the jungle, and it's taking forever. You're single
Maybe
target.
That's what it is. I don't know what it is, but I'm always just like, okay, I'm Warwick. Yeah, I'm doing things. I'm totally doing things, guys.
Yeah.
How dare you accuse me of not doing things?
Look, I ulted the Mundo. Come on, you need to kill him.
I still love Warwick, and I think he's great because I feel safe playing Warwick because I'm like, I don't care who comes in my jungle, I'll fuck them up.
They'll die if they come into your jungle.
Yeah, they'll die. I'll kill them. I'll get them low, and then all of a sudden I'll howl, and you won't be able to get away from me. So, but clearing the jungle feels painful. So just try it once, maybe custom, and feel the difference after playing Sejuani, Kha'Zix, or someone like Diana who can clear really quickly.
Fun fact about Warwick, you don't have to have all 5 potions. You do machete, and you can do like 2 potions in a ward.
And a pink.
Or like a pink, yeah.
Yep.
Because he's so safe, like DeClaw just said, that you don't need all those extra potions. You can even do like you can do a red and a blue potion. So you can have some, just in case blue is gone or something.
Yeah, I take the blue potion because even when you have blue buff, you use Q and half your mana is gone. So you're like, come on. So when you're trying to get ready for a gank, I tried the red buff first, but you really got to gank right away, and it's kind of useless on Warwick to gank right away with red buff. So don't do that because then by the time you clear your jungle, your red's almost out, and you won't be able to gank properly with it. So
he's one of the few junglers I would start blue on, and he's also one of those junglers that you don't gank pre-6. Unless you have to, or like
unless somebody's just super overextended, or you for the most part, the whole point of playing Warwick is
and you have
just trying to
you have red buff, yes,
climb that level 6 mountain as soon as you can.
Get to 6, and with the new jungle, you can get to 6 really quickly,
pretty fast.
So it actually does preseason and season 4 definitely helps Warwick from last season because you can get to 6 faster, and then you're an excellent ganker at that point. So, but yeah, try the differences. Do an assassin. I like Pone's idea with Kha'Zix because you'll get a feel for an assassin type champion, and it's more difficult to play. So when you play an easier assassin, oh wow, this piece of cake, like bye. So
I was expecting like Lulu or like Caitlyn because Yordle, snap traps, cupcakes. I tried.
Yeah, I was trying to be analytical, but you know what? I'm very proud of you. Your head.
My head's in the right place.
That he's serious. You call him out for being serious. I can't even handle that.
I love watching Dom's facial expressions. This is a dire time. He's like, God damn it.
The head shake. You know what? Just for that, the rest of the podcast, I'm going to be thinking of a pun.
He's gonna unleash.
It's coming.
He's gonna unleash the rage. Okay. Or maybe is it unleash fury?
Carry on.
Sorry,
I'll be thinking.
You guys may have seen it. I gave this a weird look over here. I'm reading on my second monitor this next question because I think it's a really interesting question. But anyway, KB Jenkins, I think that's how you say the name. Have you ever gone into a game with the mindset of trolling because of outright raging in champ select, but once loaded in, decide that you're still going to carry hard and work for the good of the team? The silence says that we're all kind of thinking like
I haven't gone into the game with a mindset of trolling.
I have picked.
You want to do something stupid
because I wanted to play that champion, and even though it wasn't necessarily the best pick for our team, but I have not again gone in with the mindset that I still get in and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do the best I can here with this. Despite
I think I have only because I was giving into peer pressure. Like everyone else was like, 5 men mid, I'm mid. No, I'm mid. And then they're like, okay, well, everybody mid. I'm like, all right, I'm mid too. So we all pick mages, and then I'm going in with the mindset of trolling. And then it becomes a troll game, but never ranked.
No.
I'd rather die.
I've played some really off-kilter stuff in ranked, like Jace support, but I don't go into like.
Top laner,
of course you would. Of course you
dude, I was doing with a buddy of mine who's a great AD carry, and he was playing Graves back when Graves was OP, and Jace was still really good, and you didn't really need any items on Jace to 3-shot somebody at level 3 with EQ. So you just sit in bot lane and take pot shots for like 5 minutes. But
what happened to Jace, by the way? He used to be such a terror, such a nightmare. Now
it's an interesting you brought this up because Dom and I were having this conversation today.
They nerfed his E.
Yeah, that's what happened. Was it that bad?
There's 2 things that happened to him. The major change was the change to his acceleration gate. It is now a flat cooldown and does not get reduced by cooldown reduction. It does get reduced by points and levels put into the gate, which is the E. allowing him, because before he could acceleration gate Q every 7 seconds, and it went down to like 5 seconds or something like that, or it was 8 to 6. It was on a really short cooldown, and it's faster and does as much damage as Nidalee Q. So you pair him with Nidalee, and now you have this just amazing poke.
The disgusting poke.
Although Yasuo doesn't care about that.
Yeah, Yasuo
He just like
Not anymore.
Yeah, really.
Buff Jace, fuck it. We have Yasuo.
But if
Yeah, you see the enemies picking a poke comp. One guy picks Yasuo, and the other team goes off.
That's right. If you remember in Season 3, there was a time where Tyr was overpowered or super powerful, and Manamune was super powerful because of that. Remember when I think Declaw and I had this discussion about it on Pantheon, and then it was just, it was quickly debunked that you shouldn't be buying it on there. But it was like at that point where you're trying to buy it on every champion you could.
I used to buy it on him, and then...
Right. They changed it so that Jace's ultimate switching stances
Doesn't stack
tier anymore. So you could run the lane and get an extra 7 stacks in your tier just running the lane by switching stances back and forth.
It didn't. You weren't penalized at all for just spamming stance swap. You could get a fully stacked tier in about 5 minutes if you just sat there spamming the crap out of it. It was ridiculous.
Well, Nidalee still stacks spear just for going in Cougar and using her free abilities, right?
Yes, but not swapping
but not
to
for
Cougar.
transforming into Cougar.
So he didn't have to wait for the
He just
the
swapped
tiers
back
cooldown?
and forth.
It was a bug?
No.
It was just the 3 second
It was
stance
timed
switch.
just enough? Okay.
Yeah.
So those were the 2 big changes for him. I saw this thread today. People were calling to revert the nerfs on acceleration gate, and that alone would make him overpowered again, or like everybody would play him and start picking.
He'd be
him
really
again.
good again.
I think he can still be good if you play around that. It's just I haven't seen anyone do it. I don't play him.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen anybody really...
Well, see, unlike
Well,
Elise, Elise, for example, brings in percentage of life damage and CC.
Right.
And Jace doesn't
And
bring
sick
in...
escape.
Yes.
So he's outshone.
Yeah,
That ability to poke is outshone by...
Well, and it's not just that. It's where are you going to put him, because he's not going to... Top lane is just bruisers that are going to outscale him eventually at this current point, and...
you could put
I
him
think
mid.
You
could put him
he's
mid.
really good mid right now, but
Jungle Jace.
I think the real reason that he's... I think the reason he's kind of unpopular now is because he no longer has those obviously overpowered elements. The skill cap on him is so high, like the amount of just raw focus and skill it
Makes it
takes
not worth it.
to maximize his potential, kind of makes him not work with it. Like you would rather play somebody who's fun and just less intense
though
of a
we
champion
did-
play.
We did say something similar about Ziggs right before everybody started picking Ziggs up, with his abilities needing too much skill to...
Well, they
to
did
throw
buff
together correctly.
Ziggs right after
Right,
we said that, or
right.
before we said that. So
That buff was brilliant on Riot's
Huge.
part. They didn't really buff him as far as a traditional buff. They just said, you know what? We'll make it so you can queue up Satchel Charge to explode in midair, and we'll make it a little bit wider radius. And that is all he needed.
Yep.
That was beautiful.
did they make it? I could have swore they made a change to his minefield. I keep thinking they did.
They did with minions.
That's it. No, that was the big one. That he allowed to do more damage to minions with his ultimate too, and minefield.
Yeah.
And those were 2 just like that just shows how how fickle this game
How they
is.
really tune him.
Yeah.
Like it really doesn't take much to send most champions from a state of okay to oh my god, why are we not playing this champion every single time?
Right.
I know, right? That's a good point. It's like they're all teetering on the edge, and then one little tweak, and then boom. Flavor of
Alistar
the
is a
month.
great example of that. No champion
Oh,
swings
yeah.
from overpowered to underpowered with just minor, like really, really small adjustants like he does.
I remember Jungle Alistar. He was banned
Oh, he was a
every
nightmare.
freaking game.
You did not want to run into
terrifying.
Jungle
Disgusting.
Alistar. I was
best
thrilled
part
when they
was
switched
I
him because that meant I could play Alistar
He
again.
would tell people he was going to show up to their lane at 3 minutes, and they would still push the shit
Nothing you
out
can do
of
about
it.
it.
Give
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
It didn't even matter. He would come from behind you even if you were at your tower and like stun combo
you
you
off
and
it.
then walk away because he don't give a fuck.
And then Pwn against Chiro last night, or Monday night. That
That was stupid.
Tira got so bad. I was playing Alistar on the top lane.
I was pissed off because I fucked you up at level 2. And then there was just that fight. I would literally couldn't hit you for more than 2 seconds at any point in the game.
no, he'd throw you into his turret.
yeah.
He'd just punt me.
Well,
The best part, and I told Adam this, what was this, yesterday, was I was drunk and piece of this. I was drunk and you were like, yeah, you're gonna set him up for me. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, he's not gonna just say this. We're all on Skype together. He's not gonna just come up and do this. And here you come up. Anyway, just Warwick, me in the face. It wasn't good.
Yeah, I figured if all I had to do was hold you down for enough time for Pone to get up there with Alistar, and then after that, you go wherever he pleases you to go.
Into the tower. Into the tower.
Yep.
Oh, all right, KB. Thanks for writing in.
I like the segues we had on this.
Yeah, did we even don't troll in ranked games?
Don't troll.
Don't pretend you're a tree and you're playing Maokai. Don't pretend you're a ward when you play Teemo.
If someone else goes in the mindset of trolling into the game, and you don't let him win by just giving up and FF at 20, and you actually try and you do well, you might be able to turn him around to doing well and changing his mindset and trying to win anyway. So don't give up. If you see that someone is trolling and you think there's no way you're going to win, that's not true.
That be said, if your friends are cool with you picking silly things like Jungle Singed and they won't get mad at you, then do that with your friends.
Don't do something stupid.
To other people that you don't know.
Yeah. All right, Dan, you're up. And then Michael. Is that Michael?
Mikhail?
That's what I'm going to say, because there's an E on the end. Does that change it to Mikhail? Well, Michael, you're on deck. Dan, you read in. When you're all in the mood for fun normal, well, this actually is a really good segue because we were just talking about fun normals. What champs do you pick when you're playing less to win and more just for a laugh? My friends and I like to do kill lane spot or even just double ADZ with Draven Ash or something. I like to play Alistar in the top lane.
Jace support.
Maokai support.
I like to Urgot in the jungle. I actually like to do that for fun. And
how's that
surprisingly, it works well, actually.
Take a little
I
while.
haven't tried him. You know what? I haven't tried him in the new jungle, but the old jungle, it was actually awesome. You have blue buff all the time. You're spamming your Q. Your Q has such a short cooldown, especially with blue buff reduction. And you use your shield, so you're not taking damage. And then you come barreling out into the lane.
It's Urgot, whatever. He shows up. Okay, I'm running away. But then he hits 6, and it's like, oh, God.
No, pre-6, you come in, all of a sudden you get pooped on, and there are these homing missiles on you, which are, I think they apply lizard buff, don't they?
They don't.
The unhit effects? No?
They don't.
Okay.
And that's like, I wish they would change that about him. I think he would suddenly be a very, very good individual with that one change.
But he's fun. I need to play more Urgot. The top lane jungle, that's my fun champion, because right now, I'm probably not going to win doing that, but it's fun.
Right. Asteration brings up Fizz jungle, which is funny because I've seen a couple Fizz jungles here and there, and
I've lost a lot of Fizz jungle.
Well, he just comes out of lane as he's this giant flopping fish, or so he comes out of jungle on his spear, his troll spear, just jumping at you. He can clear an entire lane from one bush to the other practically with that damn spear.
Yeah, didn't he? Wasn't he advertised as being a jungler in the original champion
when he
spotlight?
first came out? People were fiddling around with him in the
when he first came out, like people didn't know how to play him or where to play him.
I think the champion spotlight said something about it. It mentioned him being in the jungle.
They said he could play in the jungle.
I thought they were trying to make him be like an on-hit bruiser in the top lane because of all the % of life damage he deals.
I don't remember.
They wanted
such a long time ago.
I thought they wanted to be able to build either that way or like an assassin.
But maybe that's a buddy of mine just trying to trick me into trolling people.
No, Void Boy did that. He did Bruiser Fizz with Sheen in the top lane for a while. He would play that on stream a lot. So maybe that's what you're thinking of?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I definitely did play with that build, but it was on Twisted Tree Line, so...
And Fiora.
So it worked.
Fiora when I want to have fun. Because like Sean was saying before, I don't know what it is, but you play right and you start getting kills and you become unstoppable as Fiora. But still, she's not a top-tier pick.
Adam, I want to see you
like
start
that.
playing Fiora.
Bring her
Player
back,
mid lane.
baby.
Player mid lane.
Oh, shit.
I'm not playing.
I'm
Player mid lane.
You get the Hydra.
Do it.
I mean,
Do it.
I've liked Fiora for the longest time, and Dom.
You're an enabler, you know that, right?
It's not happening. You know what's happening after this podcast, though, and I didn't talk to Claude about this.
Oh shit!
Uh-oh.
So just before we get on over to Michael or Mikhail's question, where the hell your name is, we're going to start doing ranked fives with the T-Force team, and it's not going to be like anything. It's not going to be like super serious between us, but we're going to do this so we can show our listeners what a ranked team plays like or how they communicate. So a lot of our listeners just playing solo queue, and a lot of you guys have interest in playing ranked fives, and we want to show you what it's like to play ranked fives and what the communication can be like if we are all on the same page. So after this game is done, if DeClaude, you have time, we want to play some ranked 5 game.
Sure, I'll play.
I hope we get shit on.
You're actually inviting me to your Trinity Force rank 5s now?
The Trinity Force rank 5s is not going to be is used just for Trinity Force.
Okay.
So there's a whole thing behind this. I know I forgot to tell you about that, but I might as well tell you guys.
Is
now.
Wrecker on board?
Surprise!
I think we're sticking. Yeah, I think we're picking up Dom's brother, right?
Oh,
No, he's
Victor's
not
playing?
available today.
Oh.
In the future, he might be, but he's got a commitment.
We can hash out the details afterwards. By the way, while we're off topic, I screwed up my Audacity, something fierce. I pulled a, who was it? Sean, where I had to have another one opened up. So you're going to have a bear of a time fixing it, but I had another one started. So enjoy.
Yeah.
So not only did he fuck you, but he
gotta
made
fix
the
it.
pun while doing it. There's the rage.
No,
Full circle.
the rage on my end is going to come from I wish you would have told me, because it makes it easier for me to put it in, because I don't know when you started it back up and when you start talking again, and I don't know how to make it line up correctly now.
Yeah.
Man.
I was trying to be polite, and in trying to be polite, I made it even worse.
You were impolite.
I will try my
I'm
best to put it
sorry.
together. All
Just
right.
yeah, have fun.
line up the back end.
I'm
So-
just gonna have to figure out where DeClaude starts talking again and try to line it up in there, and that's gonna be fun because that could be.
Oh yeah, because I was silent
I
when
do
it happened.
not envy you at all.
Dom's was pretty easy to put together because I made him do the 1, 2, 3 click, and I knew when he clicked, so I just put it in.
But you know what? It's somewhere around. I marked the time when it stopped, and it was only maybe a maximum of 30 seconds before I started the other one. So
All right, that helps. All right, well, let's move on to this next question here. Now I got even more editing to do. What time was that at?
I just want to put you in a bad mood.
47, 41.
40, 47-ish.
Oh man.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the next question now.
Good, yeah, Adam's in a bad mood when we go into ranked. That's always fun.
Oh, that's so safe.
I am working on carrying myself out of bronze. I know this question has been asked before, but Season 4 changed everything. I've been playing top with Mundo, Jax, and Garen, and also Gangplank, and it seems to work okay. Who are the best top/AD carry champs right now?
Man, just
Really?
play who you like to play.
If you are in bronze, it's not who is the best, it is who you are best at. You could carry yourself out of bronze into gold with Gangplank if you know all the matchups and you understand that champion inside and out. We've said this time and time again. It does at bronze. A Mundo in bronze is not going to be able to defeat you if you have silver level mechanics, for example. You just need to understand the matchup and what you need to do. So really, instead of focusing on the champions, pick the ones you like and start focusing on how can I get better at this game? Where am I failing? Am I not transitioning at the proper time? Is laning phase lasting too long? Should I be roaming
Not
more
looking
often?
at the mini map.
Yeah.
Your choice in champion is not going to carry you out of bronze. It's how you play that champion.
Right.
Simple as that. And the mechanics that you use.
I would like to here's a good example. It comes from last night. We played with our buddy Ranhurt, and he has been he's been trying to get better at the game, but he had some really good roams last night where he roamed bot and he roamed top, and he made that decision. I've never seen him make that decision before, so this was a hurdle I've finally seen him jump over, where he recognized that he needed to make an impact on the game.
The best part is when even though he was roaming great and we said something about it, he's like I could have played better, and that's also another.
We're just like, I don't know, you got the job done. That's good enough for me.
You did very well, you know.
Right. So
He was being self-analytical. That's good.
Yep, that's good.
yeah, and he and I have had conversations like that. So, Michael, if you look at your gameplay and try to self-analyze it, even if you don't have the best analysis skills in League of Legends, it's going to help you become better, because you can say, after a play is done, say out loud to yourself, I should not have done that. Or say, I should have gone here. Or that was a really good roam. I did good. Because self-affirmation is going to make you make those decisions in future games.
Yeah, it'll make you remember what worked.
Right.
So, yeah, because a lot of times you won't be hung up on that, you'll be hung up on what somebody else did, and that's why the game tanked. So keep looking inward.
Inward.
But you want to play top lane. So good picks for top lane that are, if you know how to play them well, they can be frustrating to other players. Nasus,
Poppy.
Riven.
Renekton.
If you know how to play
Just
Poppy
annoying.
well,
Poppy.
she's infuriating.
Poppy
If
is
you
the
learn
bait
how to play
queen.
Poppy well, people can't touch you.
Yeah,
Literally, they can't touch you.
You can get to like the
They'll
middle.
think they're touching you because you're down to like no health, but they can't
Right.
touch you.
Don't tell people to play Poppy. Dom.
Play Poppy.
Dom, don't tell people to play Poppy. If you want to learn a champion that can carry, play Jax. Gangplank can do it pretty well, actually, between like bronze and gold.
Bronzy can. People don't know how to deal with the damage on his Q.
Yeah.
Garen.
Why are you
Garen's
people
nice and easy to
messaging
play,
me?
and he's a rock. He's great with the new mastery, Second Wind, defensive tree. You can actually see his life ticking up faster than a health pot when you get low and you have your passive
Heck
on
yeah.
Garen.
Love Garen.
So I did it with Pantheon, Volibear, and Warwick, just alternating depending on the needs of the team. Mostly Pantheon, but that's because I liked him. He's not overpowered in top lane or anything, and I didn't play him as the level 2 kill somebody. I played him more conservatively, and I just like the champion. If you enjoy the champion you're playing, you're going to do better. Don't look at whatever the popular picks are in LCS and say, oh, this champion's OP, so I'm only going to play this guy, and then you forget about your mechanics and you expect him to carry you. It's not going to work that way.
Well, and not only that, but if you're familiar with the champion and something goes wrong, you're more likely to be able to do something to come back from making a mistake because you know how the champion works.
I really
Right.
do agree with like Honey Badger, and I think Cherry said it. Just play Renekton. Renekton's always
But
going to
it's
be
like,
good.
You don't have to worry about mana. It's all cooldown. He doesn't really have a bad matchup. You can farm extremely easily, and he is relevant the whole
solid.
game through.
He's solid. He's frustrating to play against, too.
Yes, he is.
Learn how to use Renekton's rage to your advantage. Learn
Yep.
what 50 rage does in each of your abilities and how it works. And remember to max Q than E, not W. You might
And
want to.
remember, if you hit the enemy champion with your Q, it, I think, doubles the heal on you or something.
Yeah, if you have 50 rage.
As long as you get a champion instead of just minions.
Yeah.
So make sure you try to hit the
Played
champion.
That champion forever. He's so fun.
Yes, he is a lot of fun to play, and he does have a
That's
skill
my big
cap.
thing. Like, just find champions that you think are fun to play, and then play them. And like, what? Eventually, you reach a threshold of I don't know, skill mastery, and you just like you will start to play better than your opponents because you know the champion so well.
Yeah.
But
can agree
like
with
it's
that.
the game. This game is so much more enjoyable if you focus less on like trying to get out of a certain tier and more on just
If
like
you're just
having
trying to have
fun when you're playing, and you're playing champions because you enjoy playing them, not because you think they're OP.
I can agree with that. Like, I was losing faith in Pantheon as I was stuck in Silver 1 for a while. And I talked to Sotir, and he watched me play a few games, gave me some pointers, and he was like, just play Pantheon. If you like him, and you can carry him in any position as Pantheon, so keep playing him. And I did, and broke into plat, so
There you go.
it works. I've been there.
I'm going to actually skip this next question because I think Noah Baconators is a better question to finish out the podcast with, especially what we've been talking about. I don't want to jump into pink wards at the end of the podcast because I feel like that is kind of a random place to talk about them.
We've also talked about them a lot recently.
Right. But Pope, we'll get to your question at 126. I promise. Just we can't fit it. Does not fit in right now. So Noah Baconator, he writes in, I'm fairly new to the game and I'm supporting my friend through Elo Hell. He plays a very aggressive lane and often plays champs like Caitlyn, Corki, and Lucian. He needs supports that can save his ass, so I play Janna, Karma, and sometimes Sona. Do you have any tips to help me to play with him so I don't have to flash in only to throw out a shield or tornado?
Actually, this one to me, it sounds like it's kind of on you. If he's playing very aggressive champs and you always feel like you're having to say him, it's probably because you're behind him or not sort of asserting the lane pressure that a support needs to be throwing out there. Again, I haven't watched any of your, I haven't watched any replays or anything like that, so I'm really just reading into this question as much as I can. But it sounds like you kind of need to step up and sort of like, yeah, they're scared of the AD carry, but they also know he's squishy as hell. Like, make them regret even setting one step too close to him.
I was going to say...
best defense is a good offense. Maybe
Right.
pick a champion that's also aggressive.
I
Lulu or
was about to
Leona.
say, pick up Leona and make them more afraid of you than they are of him.
Yeah, because that goes with learning the champion inside and out. I played with my brother as Leona last night, and he is not good at this game at all. I'll straight up call him out. But having Leona allowed me to play aggressive against people who didn't understand how to play against aggressive players, and it allowed us to at least go even in the lane during the lane.
He played
phase.
well Monday.
The best part about last night was he was like, I want to play AD carry, and you're like, if you play AD carry, I will literally kill myself.
And then there was the game, the 2 games Sean and I were laning together. And Sean like never plays AD carry, but he comes into bot lane playing like a top laner.
Oh, dude,
And I'm enabling all of your bad
You got to
habits.
keep up.
But you enable my bad habits too. I come in the bot later. How many times I push the turret? You are so used to me. We push the turret every time.
Yeah, it's fine. I know how to adjust. It's weird when I play like 10 games with you and then I go and play 2 with my brother. I'm like, okay, this is a shift, but it takes a minute, but then you get back on the wavelength because we played enough games together. It's no big deal. I mean, it was weird playing with Sean last night because he would just do things like, well, okay, I didn't see that coming, but it's cool. We'll adjust. Or like when he thought he could win a 2v1 or a 1v2.
Oh no, that was actually a 1v3, but
yeah,
it was just because I was like, I'm gonna kill the fuck out of this Blitzcrank. Twitch was there the whole time. I fucked up.
You fucked up.
I fucked up.
You gotta stop thinking like it's top lane.
I just need to play Corki because I know how to play Corki, and I have never played. That was my first game ever on Jinx.
All right, guys, that's the end of this podcast. That's episode 125. If you guys are watching us live, remember, we go live every Monday and Wednesday now at 8 o'clock Eastern time. So if you are watching this podcast live, we stick around because we're going to play some ranked 5s. It'll be about 10 minutes or so. We got to get the game lobby going and get people in the game. But we're going to play. We'll stream it so you guys can listen. If you are not watching this live, why not?
Come on, guys.
I know, right?
We're doing this for you.
Yeah.
You at work or you're on a drive somewhere.
But do us
Are
a
you
favor.
Luke the trucker?
Yeah, if you're Luke the Trucker, right? But do us a favor if you're watching live right now, go download the podcast when I put it out because I like to skew my numbers.
Yeah,
I like that extra,
got a
30
double dip,
people.
And the quality will better. and
Download,
it's
never
kind of-
listen.
It'll be fun trying to find the spot that you just heard about where I screwed up and Adam had to fix it.
Quality be better my
Did he even
ass.
try to fix it? Probably not.
Did I even let your Claude talk for the last 30 minutes of this podcast? You'll find out
Next time.
next time. See you guys.
See ya.